What if, long ago, humans really did live for hundreds of years, and a global catastrophe stripped that longevity from us forever? Across ancient texts and myths from around the world, the pattern is clear. Before a great flood, humans lived hundreds of years. Afterwards, that longevity vanished, and now science may finally explain why. Imagine if these myths describe a real global event at the end of the last ice age, a devastating flood caused by rapidly melting glaciers. But this flood didn't just drown civilizations, it fundamentally altered the chemistry of Earth's water itself, dramatically impacting human biology. Today, we'll explore compelling scientific evidence hidden in ancient volcanic glass, pointing directly to one substance, deuterium, that may have rewritten the very fabric of human life, shortening our lifespans forever. Stay tuned as we unravel the incredible intersection between science and myth, revealing a forgotten chapter of human history that could forever change how we view our past and perhaps our future. If you are enjoying this, please like and subscribe. It helps me out. Thank you. Around 12,000 years ago, our planet underwent an immense transformation. Massive glaciers covering large parts of North America, Europe, and Asia began rapidly melting as Earth emerged from its last ice age. This melting wasn't a gentle trickle, it was an explosive release of water on a scale that's nearly unimaginable today. Imagine a landscape dominated by ice walls hundreds of feet high suddenly collapsing, sending torrents of water rushing across continents, carving canyons and flooding entire regions. Sea levels rose dramatically, up to 400 feet in some places, drowning coastal lands and isolating populations overnight. The Black Sea Deluge hypothesis suggests that around 5600 BC, the Mediterranean Sea burst through the Bosphorus Strait into what was then a freshwater lake, creating the modern Black Sea, in an event that would have seemed apocalyptic to nearby civilizations. Similarly, in North America, geological scars from the Lake Missoula floods show us the power and speed at which water reshaped entire landscapes. These cataclysms weren't isolated. They affected cultures worldwide, leaving an unforgettable impression that was passed down through generations as myths. Stories from Mesopotamia's Epic of Gilgamesh, the biblical flood narrative of Noah, Hindu traditions from India, and even indigenous American legends all speak hauntingly of a devastating global flood. But what if these myths aren't just stories? Could they be humanity's distant memory of the catastrophic end to an ancient world? A memory of floods so immense, they reshaped not only the Earth's surface, but also our biological destiny. To understand how this disaster might have permanently changed humanity itself, we need to look closer, not just at water, but at what was hidden within it. Let's dive deeper. Across many ancient myths, humans lived extraordinary lifespans, centuries long according to biblical, Sumerian, and Hindu texts. But after a global flood, these legendary lifespans collapsed dramatically. Many dismiss this as pure myth. But could these ancient stories actually record something real, a biological memory hidden in humanity's oldest traditions? Science suggests they might. The key lies hidden within the water itself, in a subtle, invisible element called deuterium. Now, here's where things get truly mind-blowing. Have you ever heard of deuterium? Probably not. It's invisible, it's subtle, but it might just hold the key to humanity's greatest lost secret. Deuterium is a type of hydrogen, but it's heavier. It's found naturally in water everywhere on Earth. And the amount of deuterium in our water directly affects our biology. Lower deuterium water has been linked in recent scientific studies to increased cell health, longevity, and even resistance to diseases like cancer. And here's the kicker: recent groundbreaking research analyzing volcanic glass samples from thousands of years ago shows that ancient water was significantly lower in deuterium than today's water, by about 15%. Might not sound like much, but on a biological scale, it's enormous. Imagine a global flood event at the end of the Ice Age unleashing billions upon billions of gallons of higher deuterium water into Earth's freshwater systems, drastically altering its chemical composition practically overnight. Drinking this new, heavier water could have subtly yet permanently damaged human cellular function, accelerating aging and shortening lifespans dramatically. In other words, the mythical flood didn't just change the Earth's surface, it could have rewritten the human genetic code's environmental blueprint, ending our long-lived golden age in an instant. Sounds crazy? Maybe. But what if it's true? Let's take an even closer look at how this subtle chemical change could have had devastatingly powerful impacts on the human body, and how modern science is beginning to uncover clues to this ancient biological catastrophe. Imagine waking up one day and the very water you rely on for survival has silently turned against you. This is exactly what may have happened after the Great Ice Age floods. With glaciers rapidly melting, vast amounts of higher deuterium water flooded ecosystems and drinking supplies worldwide, subtly but permanently changing the water's composition. So what could this mean biologically? Deuterium-heavy water can impair vital biological processes at the cellular level, causing DNA replication errors, reduced cellular efficiency, and accelerated aging. Gradually, generation by generation, this heavier water would have begun manifesting as shorter lifespans, weaker immune systems, and more vulnerability to disease. But maybe it's all far-fetched. But consider the modern parallel. After atomic bombs exploded in the mid-20th century, global contamination from radioactive isotopes made some metals unsuitable for precision instruments. Scientists today must harvest uncontaminated metals from ships sunk before the nuclear era. Similarly, ancient humans before the flood might have had access to cleaner, healthier water, which was forever lost after the glaciers melted. In short, the Great Flood didn't just reshape landscapes. It quietly rewrote the rules for human biology, marking the end of an era of incredible human vitality and longevity. So far, we've explored ancient floods, myths of incredible human longevity, and intriguing scientific evidence pointing to a subtle chemical culprit, deuterium. But how seriously should we take ancient myths? Can they really tell us truths about our past? History has shown us repeatedly that myths can indeed hold kernels of reality. Take Herodotus, the so-called father of history. Long dismissed as merely a storyteller who exaggerated events, recent archaeological findings continue to prove him surprisingly accurate about cities once thought mythical, legendary warriors whose existence was doubted, and civilizations buried beneath sands and seas. If Herodotus's seemingly impossible tales can turn out to be true, could the global flood myths contain real historical memories too? Perhaps ancient cultures, in their myths and oral traditions, preserve genuine records of environmental and biological catastrophes. Perhaps the universal story of a devastating flood and a lost golden age of long-lived humans isn't just a tale, but humanity's deeply embedded memory of a real event, one whose physical clues we're only beginning to rediscover today. Did we actually live 900 years? Honestly, probably not. But what if we lived to 120, 140, or even 150? And that longevity was real, not mythical. Over thousands of years of oral storytelling, that number could have grown in the retelling, transformed from fact into legend. And maybe, just maybe, those long lives weren't just good genetics, but a different world. A cleaner, colder Earth with cleaner water. Maybe the flood didn't just change the landscape, it changed us. Science and mythology don't always need to stand apart. Sometimes they're telling us the same story, just in their own language. And together, they reveal a fascinating truth, that humanity's greatest myths may indeed hold the keys to our hidden past, and perhaps even our future.